Well, last year in Timisoara, you taught a workshop on Agile Architecture. Can you tell us more about this particular workshop and how was it in Timisoara?
I enjoyed my time in Timisoara very much. I hope to come back to Romania and see it in the springtime this year. Um, the workshop was a very positive experience for me because um, I got to interact with people who, well, this is about architecture, so people had opinions that were in the class, in the workshop.
Yes.
Um, they had strong opinions, even about a made-up problem, which was really great because we learned a lot of things in that workshop about how do I argue and defend ideas? How do I sketch out architecture to other stakeholders? How do I minimize risk on a project that goes for a period of time? What kind of tasks would I identify as being architecturally significant and different ways that we could make those visible on an Agile project? You know, there are several different ways. So it was really a good experience for both me and the class because I always love working with opinionated people with strong opinions are great. But also people who care about Agile development. So it was you know, sometimes in Agile development, architecture is given this role of, oh, those just must be squawky people who aren't doing anything. So I really tried to have activities that would fit in with the rest of the project. And so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What did you think about the class? You were there too.
Yes, I was there. It was really nice. So I've learned, especially I love the idea of landing zones. And this was
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
one very interesting topic because I kind of did things that way, but I didn't think of landing zones.
Yeah, so
The
so these
metaphor.
yeah, there were a number of techniques that we talked about and got to practice in the class that allow you to think about the requirements that are architecturally significant, that maybe affect performance or scalability or whatever kind of quality of the architecture you're wanting to do in an agile way. So like, for example, the notion of landing zone where you have minimally acceptable and, gee, this would be a great kind of requirement value for something. Traditionally, people have used it in a very, rigid way that isn't agile. We set these up at the beginning of a project, and they're there, and we have to hit those values. But I have found that if I'm trying to be agile, I want to take the most important criteria for a particular release. Let's say I'm doing a longer project, and then think about as I'm going on in time, and I'm adding more stories and implementing more features to perhaps recalibrating and that it's okay because we are being agile about our criteria. And so I think a lot of these techniques that I talked about in the workshop were things that can be used in an agile way. And some people may say, oh no, gee, they're just a zone. It sounds like I have to hit right there. What's very agile about that? No. So that was kind of nice to
And
do
we
that.
also had the typical conversation about emergent design and how much design you should do upfront for an agile project.
Yeah,
Much
and the
more
answer is
than.
that depending. It depends, as all consultants know. If I'm doing something totally new, I might want to do some investigation before I commit major resources. that may or may not be throwaway. This depends on your goals. But if I'm doing something that's, ongoing development, then probably upfront investigation is not worth. It may increase risk rather than reduce it.
Yeah. Okay, so this year